What do Kevin Hart and Puff Daddy have in common? They both panicking right now. What do I mean by that? Well, everybody knows this one of two things, okay, about Kevin Hart. He goes around to every circle. He has, really, he doesn't have an off switch. And I look out from a worker's position, but be like, go, 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 go. I commend you, Kevin. You got a motor on you. You can go. Here's the problem: is where you're going. You have been cited on video, your own video sometimes, at these excursions with Puff Daddy. Have you not? Yeah, and I think it's coming back to roost. It used to be funny. I remember watching a video with you and Puff Daddy, and you're all just hanging around each other and draped on each other, and there were people there that were looking. They were drunk. They were drunk, and so were you. You looked like you were a little bit tanked too, and for some reason you were making. I don't want to say that they were unstraight jokes, but they were not straight jokes with Puff.
You're coming here, no homo, no. We're gonna get some ladies in here, but we're gonna make sure our breath expression. Say pause.
Now here's my question, Kev. In all your excursions with Puff Daddy, were you like a Cuba Gooding? Are we going to hear your name mentioned here soon in a couple of these lawsuits? Possibly as one of the people that have been, brought in by Puff to participate in certain activities that you should not be participating in, people that didn't want you participating in it with. Perhaps it might be why you're panicking right now. Perhaps. These are all theories, Kevin. Don't say that we're trying to put blame on you or things on you. We're just assuming that this might be a reason for some of the things going on in your life right now. It may seem that everyone associated with Puff seems to be on this character resolution kind of tours, so they can tell everybody, hey, Puffy might have been doing it, but it wasn't. Call Shaggy, please. Call Shaggy, and please tell him we need a theme song for all these people that was with Puff Daddy. And he said, it wasn't me. Just bring Shaggy in. Have him sing that song to everybody when they go before the judge. Say, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't. We caught you red-handed. Hey, it wasn't me. Just tell them that. They'll buy it. You're a comedian. Laugh about it. But let's get serious here for a minute, Kevin. You've been seen with Shaq doing some very, things. You've been in films doing some very sus things. Now you've been exposed as to have been to a Diddy party, saying and making jokes about them very sus things. One could only assume, hear me out, Kevin, don't jump the gun, hear me out. One can only assume that one, you're either very comfortable in your own skin so you could make those jokes. I mean, if I was a man, I wouldn't be making those jokes. A straight man here. Or two, you're making jokes about it because it really did happen. Which is it? Now, the only question I have that's unanswered, and I don't think we'll get an answer to that until it probably goes to court, is whether or not they were underage people. I know people can say, well, some underage people could look a certain way and they're not underage, Spare me. Please spare me. There's such a thing called verification. If you are really that concerned, you would get verification. And I know there are ways to check for fake IDs. So please don't especially with the kind of money these people have. Come on now. That's the only unresolved question in my mind, Kevin, is whether or not there were people there that should not have been there because of their age. Now that is where it moves from humor to some very serious, crazy things. I'm not saying that you knowingly did anything. I'm not saying that you unknowingly did anything. I'm just finding it kind of hard to believe that you can be the kinds of friends you say you were with Puff Daddy, and one, either not know and not tell, or two, know and not participate. You see, the cards are falling everywhere. All these facades are falling off. And I'm not saying that this is again, people have been saying 24 is a year of exposure and a year of awakening. Look, I'm glad that people are waking up to realities. It's great. But there are still many walls to be broken down before we can get to the end of anything. We're not going to, but we can try. With Hollywood, the music industry, all of this, there have been so many crazy things happening in that location for so many years that you hearing about this particular event should not even be earth-shattering. We've been told about people like Shirley Temple. And this was back in black and white, right? Forever ago. And now you're hearing about people like Kevin Hart and Puff Daddy coming forward with people saying, yeah, those parties were more than just alcohol, more than just music. There were some serious violations of not just humans, but children there. What do you do in that situation, Kevin? Let's say you're innocent of all charges. Why aren't you saying what you saw? I find that curious. You can talk about everything else, but for some reason, the things that you are attached to, very, very mum. See, that's also a red flag for many of us. You not saying anything about this, the same way Mayweather didn't want to say nothing? Red flag. You not saying anything about something that you've actually been to on video. And having people say there is more than that going on and you're not talking about it tells us that you were part of the entire deal. I can understand why you want to be quiet. You don't want nobody, and you don't want to take any spotlights and turn them to you. It's kind of smart, Kev. Unfortunately for you, there are some of us who are like hound dogs. And once we get a trail, we coming for you. We're going to expose it all the way. Any bit of information we got, we're going to spill. So whereas you may want to keep this silent, we're not. We're not. All the millions and all of the movie roles you're getting because of the people you've been around. All the influence you get to harbor now. At what cost, Kevin? At what cost? Your soul? Is that a big enough cost? I think you might think so now. But at the end of your life, you may want to be like, I probably shouldn't have done that. But by then, it'll be a tad bit too late. And you know all about being a tad bit, don't you? That was a short joke there, in case you didn't catch that. Look, Kev, if you do have a heart left, catch it? I did another one. If you do have a heart left, and you do have some sort of a moral compass anywhere, you will come and tell people exactly what took place and deal with it. Until then, it is left to us to speculate. Because you have the ear of people that we're raising. Whether directly or indirectly, you have their ear. And many of us are not pleased with that. And so we're going to do our very best to make sure that the ones we love don't get influenced by you. So hear me out. My request to you, Kevin. Can you please tell us what took place at those Diddy parties? Come clean for the record, and maybe you might be able to salvage just a little bit of what dignity you have left.